Hello everyone and welcome to my hobby home. My name is Cathy. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are going to be working on our sparklers quilt pattern that came in our Fat Quarter Shop Liberty box. And in this box came our, I believe, 5 pieces of fat quarters, 5 fat quarters, and a panel. And also our 3 half square triangle paper, triangles on a roll. So I'm going to start by showing you everything that we have here that we've cut. I have the finishing information right here. Also, we needed 2 1/3 yards of background and borders, a third yard of accent fabric, and 3/4 yard for binding, and 3 7/8 yards for backing. So what I have done, I have cut all of the fabric that needed to be cut, but some of it needs to be pieced together and then cut shorter. I have not done that yet, so that will be part of my sewing process. But here I needed 4 sheets of my 3-inch half square triangles on a roll. So I have 4 sheets of that. I'm just going to lay that there in front so I don't lose it. And then here is my tray of fabrics. I'm going to just get on into it. We can chit chat and talk and drop pins on the floor. That's why I do not come. My fat quarter bundle, my blue that was in the Liberty box, I cut it wrong. I cut it 8.5 by 16, and it was supposed to be 8.5 by 16.5. That's the only measurement that you'll get from me. But I thought that was so funny. I walked in, and Miss Dee Dee saw me, and she's like, "Well, hey, Cathy." I said, "You know, it's never a good day if I'm coming in twice in a day." But it is a good day because I put them 2 cuts right in my little garbage can that has all my scraps for my red, white, and blue scrappy quilt. So, I'm trying to make sure I have everything ready here to get started sewing. I just cut everything. I've got my panel trimmed down. It's over here on my ironing station. So, I haven't even looked at the instructions to sew. So first thing we are going to do is we're going to assemble the quilt center. The panel is the quilt center. We are to put our eyes, this is my eye, this is my accent fabric, on the top and the bottom. Now I need to make sure, I'm pretty certain I trimmed these down, but I need to make sure. And while I'm in the process, I need to open my little can of clips so I can put my clips back in. And I've got to get my little alphabetty box back out. Y'all, this is a little fishing tackle box I purchased at Walmart for like $3. So if you need to find something good to hold your alphabetties, this works perfect. You can put the little squares in there and see how it holds it all in. Don't pay a lot of money. Not when you can buy it locally at Walmart for like $3 or $4. Now you do have to put all the little slots in there, but they come with it, so it's not hard to do. And of course, I'm always going to have to move my fabric down here onto my bin. Okay, it tells me what the quilt center should measure. And I feel pretty certain I got it to the right width and length. But if I didn't, it's okay. And yeah, when this panel come in, it had a navy blue border around it. But that border was all wonky. So first thing I'm going to do, I am going to go ahead and pin that first piece there, because I am going to have to lay this up here, and sometimes things just slip and move and all that, and we don't want that to happen. We want this to stay right there. And everything is at 1/4 of an inch. And for some reason, I feel like I do not have my little lever over here in right. It won't go in any further, but maybe I got it in right the first time. Sometimes I have to fiddle with it. And what I talk about my lever, it's the knee lever over here, which my table is too high up for me to use it. So I use my hand. I pull it with my hand, which works just as well. So what we are doing is sewing our eye on the top and the bottom. And I'm just making sure it's even. Now this is beautiful. And I tell you what, I had just the best time this morning visiting with Miss Dee Dee and Miss Sheila. I love going in there. If you're having a bad day, you can walk up in there and you won't be leaving in a bad day. Because it's such wonderful women up in there. And it looked like they might have been getting ready to have a class. I would love to be able to go to one of their classes, but y'all, I'm so busy. It's just, it doesn't happen. And that's the whole reason I haven't joined my Quilters Guild yet, because I just don't have the time to make meetings. And I would love to, but I just don't have time. I mean, because I do work 4 10-hour days, and here lately, now not every Friday, you know, if I have something to do, I don't do this, but if I'm able to, I'll keep my grandson on Fridays. Now, I had, you know, right now it's been about every other weekend, but I will have him Friday, what is Friday? The 21st. And then I will have him the 5th, I believe. I think it's the 4th of July on a Thursday. I don't know what it is, but I'll be off that Friday afterwards, and my daughter needs somebody to watch that little precious dumpling. I don't mind. And he is a dumpling, y'all. He is for sure a little dumpling. When my daughter was pregnant with him, I called him my little chunky hunky. And he a chunky hunky. He really is, y'all. He's a big old thing. But he's so precious. So precious. Him and his little smiles. I would love to see my baby girl. My little green baby girl. I may just have to take some time and go up and see them. Or go over and see them, because they're over now. They're not up. But I still have not seen my son. And yeah, that's more of my heart. Boy, I tell you, I didn't know it was going to be this hard. Because, you know, when they in the house, they little brats. I'm not going to lie. My kids were brats. Whew. But I loved them just the same. And oh, I just... You know, once they get out of the house and they're older, that relationship really is different. Your parenting I know a lot of people say parenting never ends. But once they're grown and they're out of your house, the parenting does end. You then become a support system. And some people will say, well, that's parenting. No, because I don't tell them what to do. I don't try to guide them how they should do. I did that during formative years. Now I'm their support. You know, if they need somebody to call and talk to, they can do that. They have to make their own decisions, though. They are adults. Just like they have to pay their own bills. They're adults. But that's not to say if my children ever needed financial help and I was able to, I'd help them. But, you know, I don't want to enable my children to do wrong. So I try to make sure, you know, they know if they're doing wrong, I'm not going to help them. So they don't even call and ask. Now, I have not spoken to my son in quite a while. Actually, the last time I believe I spoke to him was the day I dropped my grandbaby girl off with his wife. And when at his sister-in-law, so his wife's sister, at her graduation party. That's the last day I talked to him. So, hadn't talked to him for a while. All right, so we have that top layer and bottom layer now. We need to put an F on each side. I have to piece these end to end. So that's F. That's these little ones. So now I'm going to sew the other end. Got to make sure I've got them sewed to the same side. Because we don't want to have one going one side and one going the other side. That would not be good. And I have done that before. So now I need to trim where I cut and press. And then I will actually have to cut down into the size that I need. We're going to just trim this. You see I'm using my marking tool. I'm laying it on that stitch line. So now I need to press so I can then cut it into the segments it needs to be cut into. Okay, so I now have those two strips cut out, and they run from the top border all the way to the bottom border. Looks like I need to do a little bit of trimming here to kind of even this up. My plan tonight is to sew maybe an hour. And Sharon, yes, I'm going to have to get that t-shirt on order because it is actually 8:35. And I've been sewing for 30 minutes. So, you know, it's going to be after 9 o'clock before I stop. And I'm probably not going to stop after an hour. I'm probably going to keep on sewing. I mean, truthfully, let's just be truthful about it. I'm probably just going to keep on sewing. Because if I can get it close to the top being completed, because I do want to do these triangles on a roll. I've never done triangles on a roll, so y'all will see me attempting that for the first time. So that should be interesting. Now, there was another pattern in the Sew Sampler that used the triangles on a roll. I have not got that one done yet, which I do plan on catching up on my Sew Sampler projects. I plan on doing that. But planning and actually happening may be two different things. But yeah, today Miss Dee Dee got my mind a-going because she told me about a quilt show they're going to have in November locally. And I'm thinking, okay, I really should try to enter a quilt this year. And that, I think that would be fun to do. I've never done one before. And as an adult, I've only gone to 2 quilt shows. Since I've been quilting, I've only gone to 2 quilt shows. And I say that because used to, every year the fair was in a local neighboring town. My aunt and uncle would carry all of us kids. We'd go to the fair. Oh, we were so excited. Or we would go to the Ag Expo, I think. And they would always have a quilt show in the Civic Center. And y'all, this is the first time I've ever done a panel. So, hey, we're going to have lots of firsts on here. It will be the first time I've ever done a panel. It will be the first time I've ever done the triangles on a roll. The half square triangles. It'll be the first time I've ever done those. On the roll, I've done half square triangles, just not on a roll. So I'm excited to try that because I do, like I said, I have another pattern that has it also in that Sew Sampler box. And I haven't done it yet. And it's a really cute little pattern. But I mean, some of the patterns are not for everybody. And I will admit, some of the patterns are not for me. But that's okay. Because if it's not for me, I can still put it in a giveaway box because I truly believe you get your money's worth out of the Sew Samplers. Because for me, the Sew Sampler is to hone my skills because that's what I'm trying to do. That was the whole purpose of me signing up for subscription boxes, was to hone my skills, to get some of the latest fabric lines. Because, I mean, honestly, when I started sewing, I did not even know we had a quilt shop local. And now I have found out we have 4, I think. 4 local quilt shops. I've only made it into 3 of them. Because when I went to one of them, they already had everything loaded up in a travel trailer to go to a show. So everything was already loaded up and I couldn't see anything. I now have the 2 sides on here. So our next step is to put our top rows on. And these are how they need to be. I don't have to attach them. They're just one long strip for the top and one for the bottom. And I just thought of something. Miss Sheila, I know you're watching. Tell Miss Dee Dee I thought of that line of fabric that I was telling her about today. It's called Woodland Winter. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. She and I were in there. We were trying to figure it out, and my mind just went away. And I could not think of what it was. But it is called Woodland Winter. And we were talking about some woodland, because she has fabric in there on like a, it's on the side, and it has beautiful colors. It's kind of got springy colors, but it's got beautiful autumn colors in it too. And I told her, I said, yeah, it looks like you're not quite ready for summer to be over with, but you're ready for fall to be starting. And it truly did, but it was beautiful. It had beautiful colors in it, like deep burgundies. I can't think of the name of it because I can't think of lines of fabrics names very good, but it was very pretty. And she's got a new line coming in. She thinks next week, I believe is what she told me. Guys, y'all go check their website out. They have some beautiful fabrics. Miss Dee Dee did tell me today that she's trying to figure out how to maneuver her new website. And if you go to the website and can't understand it, or it doesn't make sense, guys, their number's down in my description. I will make sure to put it in my description. And if I forget it on this one, I can promise you that it will be in a shopping haul. There is a fabric shopping haul. Anything that I do with Stitched in Faith, their phone number is down in the description. You can be guaranteed their information is going to be in that description. Because that is how much I love this shop. I will put their name out there any chance I get, because it is a local quilt shop for me. And guys, y'all don't understand how bad the summer gets for quilt shops. So do all your shopping, because you think about it, people are taking summer vacations, and so they're saving their money for vacations, or they're gone and not quilting at the time. Y'all be keeping your local quilt shops going in the summer, because these people are trying to put groceries on the table too. So now we're going to put, I don't know if that was top or bottom, but we're going to put the strip on the other blue strip. And what I'm doing is I'm pinning them on this top corner. I match them up along the side and the top, or the top and the side. And then I put a pin going the way my stitches are going to go. That way I know that fabric is held in place and doesn't twist any. So I can get those first stitches in, and I know that it's going to be in the correct place. You know, my fabrics are going to be correct. Yeah, talking about, yeah, something nasty was on my pressing thing. I got to put some more stain remover on that. I know what was made it nasty, because I saw it happen. I cut my little mini iron on steam. I put fresh water in there, and I cut steam on because I didn't want to spray my best press on it. And when I put it on steam and it heated up, it spurted. And it spurted a dirty spot on my pressing towel over here. I'm sliding off my chair, y'all. So I haven't taken, I have wool mats over here, but I have a towel laying over my wool mats. And I just haven't taken the towel off and put a clean one on here. I like keeping that towel on there because those wool mats seem to get nasty, dirty, and I just don't want to deal with that. I now have the inner border done. So now we are going to go to the middle border. Now y'all, the middle border is the one that uses these papers. Just looked at my time here, and it looks like we're at 1 hour and 10 minutes. But I'm at these triangles, on a roll. So, this is going to be interesting. My instructions, I've never done triangles on a roll, so I'm hoping that I can pick this up and you guys can see it as well, because first time for me, so it's the first time for you. You can see the troubles I have. So I believe I have 4 of each one of these, or 2 of each blue and 4 whites. My instructions are telling me with right sides facing together, layer of fabric A, which, how you going to know if that's right side or wrong side? So we're putting our white and our blue together. So I'm just making sure to put the blue face down. The white, I don't think it's going to matter because you don't know what side's the right and wrong side. It says place a 2x4 section of the finished half square triangle paper on top and pin in place. So I have this laid. So obviously there's no way to do this wrong. And being that I've never done these, I don't know how many places I need to be pinning this on at. Okay, so now I have this pinned together. There's no wrinkles in the fabric. So I am going to move my pins out of the way, close them up so I don't knock them off. I have done that before, y'all, and that is not fun. Now, after I do this, that may be all I do. It's just this one, and, but I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know. I may keep sewing, but it is already almost 9:30. So let's see what it says to do. It does tell me to set my stitch length to 1.5. So, okay, got my stitch length to 1.5. Sew on the dotted lines. Let me see. Following the arrow, sew on the dashed lines. And then cut on solid lines and tear paper away. I have a laser light, y'all, so that makes this just perfectly easy. Put that needle down in that paper. And let's just stitch on that paper. So far, this thing's easy. Now, I also know that Christy and Rhonda, they are at the shop that I purchased my machine from. They are out of town, I believe, at a Bernina thing for the, I guess, unveiling, revealing, or whatever of the new Bernina machine. I can't wait to find out about this. Not that I'm going to buy another one. One is enough. I can only sew on one at a time. So, I definitely want to look at it. So now I have everything sewn. I probably don't need to take those pins out But let's read the instructions. The paper does have the instructions on it. Follow the arrows, sew on dashed lines using a 1.5 stitch length. Cut on solid lines and tear paper away. Okay, so this is the only one I've got done so far. That pin is going to have to come out. I'm going to get my long, you can't see this, but my long marking tool here. That pin's coming out too. Don't drop it on the floor. And the reason it's coming out is because I am putting my marking tool down. And it is going to be my guide tool to cut the outside edge. Okay, so we got one edge done. Now we're cutting on the solid lines. And I'm cutting on the outside line first. I don't know that that makes a difference or anything, but I'm cutting on that line first. There's one. I'm going to lay it up there. And using the marking tool, it's really easy because you put that center line, or you put the center line of your marking stick. I don't know if your marking stick has a center line, and that's 1/4 of an inch. Let's see what they look like. Never done these, guys, so let's see. I did it at the 1.5 stitch. That comes off perfect. Now, I don't know how they're supposed to be pressed. Oh, it looks like you're supposed to press them open. No. So let's try this next. Oops. Well, yeah. This works really well. I'm at step, let's see. I'm at the middle border on the sparklers. I've done my very first triangles on the roll sheet. Okay, guys, we are back. I'm doing this on day 2. I want to have it all in one video for you, but had a little sleepless night last night, and I finished doing my half square triangles on the triangles on the roll. I finished them. By the time I finished them, it was kind of like, okay, this is not so bad doing this. I kind of got in a groove of how to tear the paper off. You just rip it off like a Band-Aid. And what I would do when I was doing that, I would fold the paper up on the seam. So when I ripped, that little side would come up too. So we are going to just go on and get into it. We are going to start assembling our sparkler block. So how we assemble the sparkler block is we take one of our half square triangles with the little triangle on the bottom left, and then we take another one with the half square triangle on the top left. Now, I'm trusting the triangles to get this right to where I don't have to worry about nesting those seams. So we are hoping that this comes out where all the seams, I'm not even going to look at them. I'm just going to trust the triangles. trusting the triangles, y'all. Trusting them. We're going to see how accurate. Now, I'm not a very accurate cutter anyway. And how the pattern has you pressing. It has you pressing everything open. Which if you press it, okay, like I'm doing white as my background. If you press it to your color instead of to your background, they would nest, like fit inside one another, you know. I now have all of my half squares completed. So what we do now is we take one of the blocks, and we are going to nest the 2 blocks, and we're going to sew on the point end. So I do need a pin because I am nesting these seams here, and I am considering taking this to the long arm. I'm not real sure because I really do want to have the stars on it. I think I mentioned that earlier or in yesterday's part of the video, but I'm just not sure what I'm gonna do. I am getting these squares done. Now, once I get them done, I will press them and check the size and trim them out if they need to be trimmed out. I now have all 16 of my squares trimmed, pressed, and I'm just letting y'all know none of mine came out the right size. None of them. So, it is what it is. It's going to work because it's not going to have a choice. Our next thing that we are going to do is take our B strips. These are all our B strips. And an E strip. These are our E strips. And it looks like what we are going to do is take a B strip and put an E strip on it. And this is saying, okay, it's not saying press it open. It's saying press it one way or the other. Because I'll say, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm pressing to one side or the other. So we are going to kind of layer this white in between 2 of the reds. I now have all of my strips done and cut into my border pieces. I don't know that it's, yeah, it is a border. So what we will do is we will assemble a border for each side and then the top and bottom. You want to go red, blue, or a blue, red. I'm hoping to get this done today. I don't know how many times I might have already said that, but I'm hoping to get it done today. So maybe I can take it to the long arm. I think I've just about decided that's what I'm going to do because I do want it to have those pretty little stars that my wall hanger has on it. And when you go to press, all of them press towards the red strips. So now I have all of my borders done, and I had two blocks left. I hope that's what I'm supposed to have left. But now we are going to start assembling this on the panel. So I'm actually going to sew from the bottom of the panel. I'm trying to make sure I'm the right length here. I did not measure my strip at all. Looks like I may be a little bit too long. It's okay. we will make it work. Now I have the top and bottom. This is called the middle border. So now I have to, I have 2 more strips here that I have to sew together, and then I have to cut them down to fit. Well, y'all, my camera died on me, and I am doing the last border. Well, I have one more after this one, but this is the outer border that I'm doing. And I told y'all that I had the strips. We had to cut 7 strips, and we were supposed to sew them together and then cut them to certain ones. What I did for the top and bottom, I sewed 2 together, cut it in half. And what I'm doing for, wait, that's the sides. The sides, that's what I did. The top and bottom, I sewed 2 together. And I put the seam right in the center, like right here, and I've pinned it in. So what I am doing is trying to center that seam, because I had 4 strips left, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to center that seam at the top and bottom. Okay, so I have finished the top for my sparklers quilt. See if I can pull it up where you can see it. I will get a better picture of this probably after it comes from my long arm though. So guys, I would like to thank you for joining me for this very long video. I do appreciate you taking time out of your day. I hope you got a little bit of sewing done. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, have a very blessed day. Goodbye.